Scorpio, this is your astrology for April 2016. Thank you for joining me. At the beginning of the month, you've got Pluto, which is your ruler, and the moon rather, in Capricorn in your third house. Okay, so the focus at the beginning of the month is communication, specifically communication in work, and you're going to start the month of being very busy in that area of your life. On the 2nd of April, Venus in the midheaven, they conjunct in your 5th house of romance and relationship. You're actively working on romance, you're actively working on the romantic side of your life, and you're really going to be very loving, nurturing, and loved up during this time of the year. You've got a lot going on in that house. You've got Venus, the goddess of love, in Pisces, the sign of being giving, being spiritual, in the 5th house of romance, so it couldn't be placed any more happily. You've got your midheaven, Chiron, the south node, and Neptune, all in that 5th house. So I will give you a 10 out of 10 for romance and relationship here at the beginning of the month, because that's really what you're going to be feeling, that's what you're going to be working with. You'll have the opportunity to make up for lost time, you'll be able to fulfill the dream. So if you're single and if you're looking for someone to be with, April is the best month for you out of all of the signs of the zodiac so far. So you're really, really blessed in that area. If you're in a relationship, romance and relationship will be wonderful. You'll be giving, you'll be caring, you'll be nurturing. If you're single, it's a wonderful time to actually find a partner to be with. That strengthens over the days, and on the 4th of April, the moon joins all of that energy, also now in Pisces. So where you'll feel most comfortable and where you'll feel most at ease is in a romantic situation, in a romantic setting. It will bring you lots of joy, fulfillment, and a sense of completion. On the 6th of April, Mercury goes into Taurus in your 7th house. Mercury is communication. Mercury in Taurus is communication on a physical level, in a tangible way, and that's in the 7th house of relationship. So you are interested in romance, but you're also very interested in connecting with another person on a physical level. Sex, relationship, excitement, sensuality, all of those things are hugely important to you at the beginning of April. And on the 6th as well, Venus changes signs. It goes into Aries. So both of your personal planets, Mercury and Venus, change signs. Mercury goes from Aries into Taurus, and Venus goes from Pisces into Aries. So it'll feel like quite a challenging day, because you'll feel like you're going in a different direction. Venus is more focused on asserting yourself more at work and getting that to a position where you feel like this is what I love to do. And I think you're a little bit off on that, and this is the first day that you're looking into that. The next day will support you because the new moon occurs on the 7th of April, and the new moon pulls in this Aries energy. So you will really feel very driven and enthusiastic and energized about perfecting your day-to-day routine, whether that's moving house so you're closer to work, or finding a job that suits you more in terms of the hours, or in terms of engaging with people on a day-to-day level that you actually want to engage in. If you're someone who works at the complaints department at the airport, you're going to spend all day listening to people yell at you and why they missed their flight and blah, blah, blah. If you're wanting to change that, the focus can be and really will strengthen you to make changes in that area of your life. On the 9th of April, there is a grand trine in Earth, and that connects your moon now in your 7th, Jupiter, and Pluto. So the way you communicate alters very much, especially on a practical way, and I think your life changes. I think there's a revolving door when it comes to the people in your life. I think some people will leave and other people will come in, and it's a positive change because Jupiter is in Virgo in the 11th. Jupiter is a very positive force, so you'll get more positive energy coming into your life, and you'll see negative energy drift away from you. On the 12th of April, the moon begins to square your midheaven and your Venus, which is still sitting now, both of them are now sitting in your 6th house. And the moon is in your 9th house in Cancer, and what you feel really nurtured by at the moment is education, is potential, and is expanding. So This sets you up to really make a lot of change because you will have discovered something in your own life which you feel much more aligned with. Okay, so if you work as an insurance salesman, but recently you've discovered that you really have an interest in biochemistry, and that makes you feel really like, oh my God, I found my life purpose here. That's going to energize you to make changes in your day-to-day routine. And I really see for you, Scorpio, that there is some upheaval to the way your life looks on the outside here at the beginning of April, and that you make changes to alter it so that it's more suitable. It's one thing being thrown out of your house and having to change your life because of other people's decisions. It's a completely different thing deciding that life no longer is an accurate reflection of the way you want it to be and making changes for it to be different. The second one is far more self-empowering and feels much better. On the 13th of April, there's another grand trine in Earth, and this time it connects your Mercury, your Jupiter, and your Pluto. And this is all about improved communication, and it revisits that earlier theme of romantic life, that if you're with someone, the two of you will be head over heels, you will communicate and be really, really alive in terms of connecting with each other on a chemical level. You know, as a Scorpio, your ruler is Pluto. You have this magnetic quality about you anyway. And when you connect with this right person, especially in a sexual way, it can be real fireworks. It can be like a spiritual experience almost. The 13th is an excellent time to really experience that kind of all-consuming passion, love. On the 14th, the moon sesqui squares Saturn. And Saturn and Mars are in your seconds. Mars is scrutiny and restriction and structure. Mars is drive and what I want to do. Those two guys, Mars is very male, Saturn is the old male. They sit there together and they really create a lot of authority in your second house of money. Okay, and they're really questioning what you're doing to move forward. That questioning comes up, and all that force and energy comes up against the poor little moon, who's very sensitive and very delicate and frail, in Cancer, very feeling oriented. And it says, yes, but will you be able to pay your bills doing biochemistry, or should you keep selling insurance? Who do you think you are? Is this really the right direction that you want to be taking? So there's going to be that sort of really heavy questioning, and you're going to feel like your dreams are almost overpowered by this heavy energy of what's real is real, what's right is right. And that isn't right. You know, you've got to sometimes live in fantasy land to make life better. And I know that's a contradiction in term, but if you think about, yes, okay, the world is harsh and I have to pay my bills and I have to kind of take care of my family, I'll get a job. And then you'll get a really harsh job that makes you work hard and that will pay you very little, okay? But if you look at the world as a place that loves you, where there's enough for everyone, and this is kind of law of attraction stuff, but where you feel like your creativity will be met with abundance and prosperity, then you completely create a different kind of work and life for yourself, where you don't have to work as hard to be abundant and creative. It really depends on your perspective, but Mars and Saturn line up to really go to your dreams, and will put a lot of pressure on that. Safeguard your dreams and keep them close to your chest and say, I'm not going to let this be destroyed, I can do this. On the 15th, this is an amazing fireworks kind of day. There are two grand trines in the chart, one in earth and one in fire. Okay, so earth is about a real talent and ease when it comes to practical matters, and that's your relationships. And then this grand trine in fire is about your career and your work. So as a result of your ease with other people, of the ability to connect and the way you've been living this month so far, enthusiasm, connection. You know, have you ever been in a conversation with someone and the two of you have laughed and really had a good time, and then you've walked into a situation and you've still had a smile on your face, and you've walked around the corner and you've walked into a situation that feels very negative and you've still smiled, and people looked at you and it's like, this energy is not going to survive in this grand negativity. I mean, I've had those moments, but what this is saying to me is that all of this energy you've built up over April pushes into the 15th of April, and you can really alter the circumstances as a result of what's going on in here. So that's really going to be a great day where you have success. in your work, in your career. It looks like a promotion, it looks like discovering what you really want to do, it looks like being able to take on a position of leadership or being able to implement the changes you want to change. But things go well for you. On the 16th, Chiron starts to oppose your North Node. And this is a day of emotional upset that really makes you feel like you're being prevented from pursuing your dreams. It's kind of a blip. Everything else has been so wonderful and fabulous, and now you feel like something painful from the past has come up, or there are tears involved, and it's slowing me down. Don't allow this to slow you down too much. It's really a temporary emotional situation which has no greater meaning to it. You don't need to read into it or try and understand it. Keep moving forward. That's really what's going to help you thrive and succeed. On the 17th, the moon goes into Virgo in your 11th. Right, and this really makes up for the previous day where you did have to deal with some emotional upset. Things are back on track. You're making good decisions. You can take practical action. And this is a great day for career, finance, work. And also friendships. On the 20th of April, the moon is now in Libra and it opposes Venus in Aries. The moon is in Libra in your 7th, and you're going to feel very comfortable around other people. Venus in Aries is going to give you a desire to take charge of a situation. And again, you may feel a little bit all over the place now on the 20th. Do I just blend in, or do I take charge? Do I go for it, or do I just kind of align myself with the greater good? If you want to have, it depends on your circumstances is the answer. If you've got a day off and you're just around friends, just enjoy yourself, just let your hair down and go with the flow. If you're trying to make some decisions around your working life, you have to assert yourself. Depends on the circumstance you're in. On the 22nd, the full moon occurs in Scorpio, and that's in your sign. Okay, so this is a real blessing. You come into your own and you feel very much at peace. The moon stays in Scorpio until the 24th, and this brings you back to a real sense of I am who I am. I feel comfortable with that. I'm able to communicate, and this brings romance and love and passion back into your life, and you feel very much able to express your true feelings with another human being. So if you are with someone, brace yourself for an intense month. If you're single, you certainly will be focusing on bringing love and romance into your life, and there's real potential for you to have some wonderful experiences, whether they're ultimately... No, I think they are meaningful. I think the people you meet this month are intense and genuine. You can trust what happens in April, and you can really look forward to building on meeting new people that you meet this month, building a future with those people. It's not just a flash in the pan, gone today, or here today, gone tomorrow. So that goes through until the 26th now, and on the 26th, the moon and Saturn and Mars, they conjunct in your second house, and the big focus here is not so much now relationships, but it's career and money, and how you're going to put the things that you've thought about and dreamt about earlier in the month into practice. And I think you have made good progress with that. I think there will be changes to the way your day-to-day routine looks, and I think you'll feel more empowered as a result of that, and you may even have more money as a result of that. Mercury goes retrograde on the 28th of the month. And it stays in retrograde until the 22nd of May. Mercury is in Taurus in your 7th house. Okay, so what starts to fall away now with Mercury in retrograde is this great kind of romantic physical connection that you've got, and this ability to almost feel like you're communicating with someone by being with them or by being in proximity to them. And it starts to feel that really calms down quite a lot. Okay, in terms of communication, when it comes to practical matters, being able to implement changes, that also slows down. So you're going to have to find alternate ways of getting your point across, or you're going to have to build on what you've already achieved. So, you've done a lot of good work in April. You've changed things around a little bit. Just let those settle into place and let those become routine before you look at making even more changes further down the road. Mercury does stay in retrograde until the 22nd. You're not going to be too much affected by this because Mercury, it's not your ruler. It's in the sign of Taurus. It really doesn't have a lot to do with you. It's not going to impact you that much. So you're not one of the people who's really, really going to suffer from this retrograde. On the 29th, the moon starts to square Venus. And they create a lot of energy here now between your family life and having a really good idea of how to move forward with your family relationships and how you communicate, and this desire to take charge of your day-to-day routine, day-to-day life. So basically, I think a family member, someone who's close to you, gives you an idea or presents you with something that actually helps you. So spend some time talking to people who are close to you. They'll offer you some great insights. On the 30th, Venus goes into Taurus in your 7th, and you're back to this whole romance thing now. So that offsets the retrograde Mercury a little bit, and you're back to love and you're back to sensuality. So April is a great time for you romantically, but now you go into May with Venus in a very, very sensual, physical sign, and you go into May with that theme of romance and relationship really continuing on. So you're going to have really 2 very good months when it comes to that theme of your life. So you're very lucky when it comes to romance and relationship, and if you're single or in a relationship, you're going to do very well and you're going to be very satisfied with that aspect of your life. So that's what's coming up for you in April. I hope it's given you something to go on, some ideas to work with. If you'd like a private reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Just click on the readings tab. And if you'd like to see regular updates, then please remember to subscribe to the channel, and I will speak to you next month.